make clear, it's not illegal to travel with any sum of money on a domestic flight,
It's
right?
not illegal to travel with clean money on any domestic flight or with a legitimate purpose. It is illegal to travel with either illegal sourced money or money used or intended for an illegal use. That could be considered money laundering. That could be considered part of an overall conspiracy for a larger case, whether it's, you know, drug trafficking, whether it's human trafficking, whatever. That's where it gets. If you're traveling with legitimate money and going for a legitimate purpose, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so the NFTA police take $10,000 in concert with the DEA, let's say,
Mhm.
and there's $10,000. How much of that do the NFTA police get? And how is that
Okay,
distributed?
the equitable sharing program.
Uh-huh,
That's what
yep.
the equitable sharing.
Yep.
The equitable sharing program, which has been criticized, you know, by you know, a number of people, provides that any local law enforcement officer, state or local law enforcement agency that assists in seizing money and forfeiting money can get up to a certain percentage of the total share of the money. They can get up to 80%.
Mhm.
You know, all those requests come through the U.S. Attorney's Office, and we either approve them or disapprove them. The minimum federal share out of that is 20%, and that has been considered a percentage that will cover the government's costs, so it won't cost the taxpayers any money. But, you know, whether it's an Amherst police officer or Buffalo police officer or Rochester police officer on the street that makes a stop and there's cocaine and money in the car, and we forfeit the car and we forfeit the money, or whether it's the NFTA assisting in the seizure of $10,000 at the airport, they're entitled to ask for a certain contribution, and they have to show it by man hours. And there's a formula we use that they break it down by how many man hours did the NFTA police spend on the case, how many man hours did DEA spend on the case, were there other agencies involved, how many man hours did that, and then based on those man hours is the shares are divided up. Now, before that, you know, with asset forfeiture, any monies we get, if there's crime victims involved, like a white collar crime, human trafficking, you know, human trafficking is very important, very priority of the Department of Justice right now. Those victims get the money before any law enforcement officers get it. You know, if there's an investment fraud, and you have the state police and maybe the Buffalo Police Fraud Squad working on an investment scam, and we forfeit, you know, $100,000 or $200,000, and we have victims that are out $1 million because the defendant, you know, took their money on a promise and a whim and just spent it on his own thing, and so we can't collect it. So we only have this $200,000. Well, that money doesn't go back to the local agencies. That money, or to the federal government, that money goes back to the victims.